center, backing up Ellsbury, turning around. The Red Sox walk it off. How about that?
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm the best guy ever, and welcome back to WIAGW. We got a full house here today, as you can see, and we're ready to talk about some anime. Alright gang, today I'm gonna take you back to the past to talk about some anime that doesn't suck ass. I just happened to be scrolling through A today and happened to see a mention of a series that I'd forgotten about for a little while, but is one of my all-time favorites. And more importantly, seeing it be discussed there reminded me of a particular meme image that has made a big impact on the community. The exact meme I'm talking about is the what I watched, what I expected, what I got meme. That was a big one back in the day, but of course it all started with a little show called Princess Tutu that has been very well regarded, specifically on A, leading to the creation of the most famous of those memes, this one here, which undoubtedly got people's attention due to the peculiar final image here. So in case you can't tell, Princess Tutu is indeed a ballet anime about cute middle school girls doing fairy tale magical girl bullshit, fighting for love and justice and shit, which they do via dancing around in little ballerina outfits. And yet, this is the image that has come to be most closely associated with Princess Tutu. And I thought it would be fun to unpack why. Because as you can see here, this is a very striking image. Of course, as someone who's seen the anime a couple times, I know exactly what scene this is referring to. There are a couple that it could be in reference to, but to me, it always draws me back to what I consider the best scene in the entire series. So let's do a little unpacking of this meme and talk about the scene that inspired this image. Princess Tutu follows the story of Ahiru, or if you're not a fucking weeaboo, Duck. Duck here is a literal duck who has been granted magical human form by the strange puppeteer storyteller Drosselmeyer, which she maintains through a little gem she wears around her neck. And that gem has another special ability. It contains the ability for her to transform into Princess Tutu, this magical girl ballerina with pretty ambiguous powers. The series contains, on the whole, a bunch of vignettes of Duck transforming into Princess Tutu, doing some stuff to gather shards of the prince's shattered heart, which she is attempting to collect and return to the aforementioned prince, who, incidentally, she is deeply, deeply in love with. There's a bunch of love shenanigans going on with a couple other characters. It's a whole big thing. But in order to get to the scene in question, let's just cut to the chase. Spoilers, by the way. It's all spoilers. The interesting thing about the Princess Tutu premise is that it is literally contained within a storybook, as in every character within this series lives within a story tale world. And I mean this super literally. Drosselmeyer, the sort of narrator, is literally a storyteller, an author who wrote the story that they are now inside of. Later on, you see some of the like Truman Show effect where like the whole world won't allow the characters to escape because they're literally trapped inside this story, but we'll get to that later. There is then a sort of secondary layer where there is a prince and a raven who had this big good versus evil battle that was happening outside, who have sort of been inserted into the story that the characters live in now. It's a mind job. And just to finally clarify a couple of points from the story, Drosselmeyer was in fact a real-life author who was writing a story about the prince and the raven, but he died while he was writing it and couldn't finish the story. After he died, however, the prince and the raven from his final story sort of took on lives of their own and burst out of the story into the real world where our story takes place. Meanwhile, Drosselmeyer, his consciousness sort of continued to exist somehow, and at that point became some sort of like strange causality controlling force with real life storytelling powers over the real world. That's the situation that our story takes place in, with all the events semi under the control of Drosselmeyer. And one of the goofy things he chose to do in this situation was to create Princess Tutu by giving a duck this magical power and this curse. There you go. Forgive all the extra detail, but I'm really trying to get to the most important thing here. This all has to be set up appropriately so we can understand what's about to happen. You don't get to this shit without a little bit of setup. So as I previously said, Duck, aka Princess Tutu, is on a journey to restore the prince's shattered heart, okay? Because the whole thing is, when the prince and the raven that I mentioned before, when they came into the story, they had been having a grand battle. And during that fight, the prince's heart got shattered. Those pieces are now scattered throughout the world, and it's Princess Tutu's job to put them back together, which she does because she loves the prince so much. Prince Muto, incidentally. That's this guy. Now, Here's where things get a little more interesting. So as I said before, Drosselmeyer is sort of the real antagonist of the story, who is actually just using the prince and the raven as pawns to make an interesting story that entertains him. He's the real bad guy. So one of the little goofs that he wrote into the story was that Princess Tutu has a special drawback that was attached to her when she became Princess Tutu. This guy wrote into his story, because he is literally God here, if Princess Tutu confesses her love to Prince Muto, she will turn into a speck of light and vanish. Like, just think about that for a second. This fucking asshole wrote this story so that the main character, Princess Tutu aka Duck, this Drosselmeyer motherfucker created a character with a burning, searing love for the prince, and then gave her the curse that if she confesses her love, she will turn into a speck of light and vanish. What a fucking asshole. And there is one more character to introduce for our purposes here, and that is Rue aka Crahy. Rue is Prince Muto's girlfriend in this world, and later on she gets possessed by the evil influence of the Raven and transforms into Crahy, sort of a dark version of Princess Tutu. Crahy is the one who's going around the world collecting Prince Muto's shards opposite to Princess Tutu, only the fucked up thing is, like, she loves Muto too, but in this, like, creepy possessive way. It's like the evil of the Raven has sort of seeped into Rue's love for the prince and is twisted into this, like, dark, perverse ownership idea instead of, you know, true love like Princess Tutu has. So the first few episodes are spent learning about the heart shards, which sort of each manifest as a different facet of emotions that the prince once possessed, you know, like sadness, despair, joy, etc. Princess Tutu will find it, or Crahy will find it. They'll sort of have to work through the emotions of that, and then one of them will sort of obtain it. And then they'll be able to give that back to the prince and restore that part of his heart, aka that emotional capability. It's some crazy stuff. Go watch the show. It's a lot of shit. But with all that set up, now we can talk about the scene. This is what we've been waiting for, folks. Okay, so here's what we get. On episode 13, Princess Tutu and her buddy Fakir, this other guy who's important, but I won't go into now, they've been called out by Crahy, who has captured one of the most important shards of Prince Muto's heart and wants to challenge Princess Tutu for it. And what other motherfucking shard could it be than love? Oh, Prince Muto! So you know the stakes are high. Fucking Princess Tutu's gotta do whatever it takes to get Prince Muto back and get that love heart shard. Also, Crahy physically captured Muto. I forgot to mention that part. So here we go. Episode 13, Tutu shows up, and it's time to face off against Crahy for the love shard and Prince fucking Muto. So here's what goes down, fam. So Crahy offers a proposition to Tutu. She will give back Muto and the heart shard if Tutu expresses her love for him. If she can prove that she loves Muto more than Crahy does, she'll give him back. Now, if you'll recall, there was a little caveat about that before. If Princess Tutu fucking tells Muto that she loves him, she'll turn into a speck of light and fucking vanish. Drosselmeyer, that fucking cunt, specifically put a situation in place where Tutu would be unable to act, because he knew this shit was gonna happen eventually. And now shit's getting fucking serious. So what is Tutu gonna do? She can't just outright tell Muto that she loves him, or she will die. Okay. So here we go. Here's where everything fucking pays off. The mid-climax of the series. So like I said, in every situation where Tutu has been confronted by a heart shard, she has needed to form some sort of emotional connection with it by resonating with it on whatever it's vibing on, you know? Like, if it's the heart shard of sadness, she needs to feel that. She needs to be able to convey that emotion. And how does she do that? Through dance. That is the frankly brilliant way this series was able to incorporate dance into its narrative in order to have like this action ballet series that everyone loves, as previously stated. So looking back on it, it's almost obvious. Just think about how Drosselmeyer has orchestrated this situation to purposefully fuck over Tutu, aka Duck. It's evident in everything he does that he wants to see Duck crushed because he loves tragic stories, and he's willing to sacrifice everyone's fucking life just to see an entertaining one. There's few people more evil than that. This is one of the most fucked up anime villains of all time. No, not her. Him. Faced with a situation where Tutu needs to prove her love to Muto in order to win over the heart shard, but unable to verbally articulate it, what else does she have to rely upon? Fucking dance. Tutu starts dancing her skinny little ass off, inwardly monologuing about how these moves convey all the love that she could never have articulated verbally anyway. And in a series about dance, it's fucking brilliant! Like, you can make an argument that, you know, it doesn't necessarily do a better job than conveying it through words, but to present the idea through this perspective just sells the idea of dance and ballet so fucking well. Major props. Major props. But here's the thing. It's not working out. Creahee sees what Tutu's doing and is like, fuck this shit, you pussy. I'm gonna stomp all over you. So Creahee, who, as I said, is sort of the dark reflection of Tutu, she starts to dance with the shadow version of Muto that she has control over already. It's creating this really fucked up situation. This whole love triangle is totally fucked up. So you've got Princess Tutu, who just sincerely loves Muto. Meanwhile, Muto, for his part, basically has no emotions. It doesn't care one way or the other. Not through any fault of his own, but just because his fucking heart got shattered. Meanwhile, you've got his girlfriend Rue, who really did care about him, has been forcibly turned into the evil version of herself, the crow version of herself, Creahee, by the evil Raven, and is now preying upon Muto like some sort of love sandwich. So you've got the pure of heart Tutu attempting to save Muto from what is ostensibly the corrupted version of his girlfriend. It reminds me of like a super poisonous, toxic relationship where like the person that you're dating could turn into a different person and become a toxic influence on your life, but you know, you still have this connection with them that you don't want to let go of. Meanwhile, Tutu is this outsider who's like, no, you need to get out of there. You can say that's just my interpretation of it, but you know, it's art, right? We get out of it what we want to get out of it. We can make these kind of interpretations of the situations, but I digress. So in short, Tutu's plan is fucking failing. Creahee has too tight a fucking grip around the throat of Muto's love. And let's recap real quick. So in this situation, we've got Duck, a literal duck, transformed into a girl, transformed into a magical girl, fighting completely selflessly to restore the heart of the prince she loves, who doesn't give a fuck about her, from the evil girlfriend who is attempting to basically kill him. All being puppeted by Drosselmeyer, the literal god of their world, who only conspires to make Duck suffer because it entertains him. Literally puppeting the strings. This series is completely about having your fate controlled. And so what does our fucking hero do? She defies fate. Remember, what Princess Tutu needs to do in this situation to win back the prince's love shard is to express her pure love in a clear, unquestionable way so that he will have no choice but to leave Creahee. And so she begins her pas de deux. In case you don't know, pas de deux stands for step of two and is a two-person ballet dance. But here's the thing. It's a two-person dance, and Duck starts doing it alone. But we understand that she isn't really alone. She's dancing with the spirit of the Muto that she loves! Oh yeah! Like, holy shit, I can't even contain how great the scene is. Look at Tutu here. Look at the way her foot is fucking quivering under the strain of doing this pose that one person is not supposed to humanly be able to do. This is how Tutu makes ballet badass. Not just that, she starts doing lifts by herself. You know, where one person holds another? She does one, she leaps into the air, and then lets herself crash to the floor! Oh my god! Did you ever think ballet could be this badass? This is the dueling guitar moment right here. Tutu is spitting in the face of destiny, saying, no, you will not ruin the man I love. I will save him no matter what it takes. She had already been willing to sacrifice her life. She was willing to turn into the speck of light and vanish, if that meant saving Muto. But Fakir previously convinced her that no, if you allow that to happen, who is going to restore the rest of Muto's heart? You have to survive. So she fucking finds a way. And guess what, motherfuckers? Little by fucking little, her fucking love comes through to the heart shard. Muto has no choice but to recognize how purely she fucking loves him! Yes! And there you go. It's just that easy. She gets the heart shard back, and they escape together. A bunch of other shit happens in the episode, but I'm not going to go into all that. I just wanted you to understand how you turned this into this. There are some more super epic battles that happen towards the end of the show, but everything in the series is all tied around this idea of defying fate. But this is where it has the most emotional resonance. I watched this before. I could not cry. This is why Duck is in my waifu tier list, alright? She is a waifu to her core. Her whole being cries out with unbridled love. Love for her fellow man and love for her prince. Not because Drosselmeyer wrote it into the story, but because that's how she chooses to live. She could have thrown it away right then and there, but she chose to live on. Because she wasn't satisfied with only partially restoring his heart, she had to go all the way because that's how much she loves him. And that's her fucking decision. And there you go. That's it. That's why this is the coolest thing of all time. Oh, God. Are you with me? Are you understanding this? Does this make sense to you? I just want you guys to understand one of the best scenes in all of anime. I'm not going to go into the details, but the fact that this happens, combined with the way that the series eventually ends, makes one of the most tragic love stories of all time. But also, one of the most heartwarming. You gotta see it. You gotta see it. Everybody get out there and watch Princess Tutu. Not every episode is a 10 out of 10. Some of them are a little worse than others, but overall, you will not regret watching these 26 episodes. If for no other reason than the scene that I just described, as well as one thing more. The greatest AMV ever made. Go watch the linked AMV. It's fucking great. Okay, everybody, we're done with that section. Hope you like that. God, everyone, I hope you love Princess Tutu as much as I do. Anyway, let's move on to the next section. P.O. Box time! Transition. Transition. Holy moly, famioli, I'm getting a lot of packages these days. Let's get right to them. Here's a little guy from Mr. B. Maybe it's Mr. B Tongue. What have we got here? It appears to be a magic card. In a sleeve. Oh, there's actually two. There's a mountain with Undine from Undertale on it, if you can see that. And then there's a Verdurous Gear Hulk. Yeah, mythic rare, what do you know? Well, thanks, dude. I don't play Magic, but that's very nice, thank you. Here we've got one from Stanford. Hey, didn't you send me some stuff already, buddy? God damn it. Stanford sent me $2 more. I remember you, dude. Dear best guy ever, check out the collectively uninteresting man-children podcast hosted by Flutterbutter, Kaiser Trigger, and Wat the What. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Also, what is your college major and minor? I was a computer science major with a Japanese and interactive multimedia double minor. Thanks again, Stanford. Okay, bigger one here. All right, here we go. One thing at a time. Oh, well, what do you know? At long last, the coveted Gurren Lagann core drill. Nerds of all size, shape, and creed have worn this throughout their lifetimes. It's smaller than the ones my friends had when I was younger, but hey, thanks anyway for the sentiment, dude. There's also a box of thumbtacks. Very nice. I assume to pin poke myself with. Let's find out what he has to say for himself. Oh, nothing. It's just some strips saying, send a thank you note, which I'm not gonna do because I'm thanking you right now. Thank you very much. Okay, on to the big boxes. Okay, here we go. Here's a note. Hey, best guy, this is for your door if you want. I got it because I thought it goes along with your kingly best guy ever persona. Enjoy your gift. Let's see what we've got here. I do need some more things for my fucking door. Okay, we've got Planet Ripple. It looks like it's a big old comic book. Okay, cool. I will check that out more later. Planet Ripple Minnows World. Oh, volume 2. Okay. Hey, cool. Castle entrance door cover. Oh man, can you see that? Is that good? Oh, is it upside down? Yeah, there we go. Hey, check it out. What do you think? Is that good? Is that castle-like? That's nice. It won't stay. I'll do it later. And whoa! Can you see this? Is this good? How's that look? Does that look nice? I can't see this. Let me lie it down. Oh, cool. It's like a magical foresty thing. Hey, thanks, dude. That's nice. This is good. I'm getting some backdrops. Thanks, everybody. All right, let's see our note first. This says, hey, best guy ever. Here's a token of my appreciation for your help with my Gurren Lagann Explained video. Hope you like it. Stay awesome, dude. Best regards, D180223. I remember this guy. I did a voiceover for his Gurren Lagann mech video. That was pretty cool. Well, let's see what you got, dude. See, kids, it pays to pay it forward. What? And he got me the package with the wrapping. That's very nice. By the way, these are a scam. Don't get the packaging. What have we got here? Hey! Galco-chan Volume 2, everybody! Just what I asked for last week. Man, that's fantastic. How'd you get me this so fast? Or maybe he planned it all along. I don't know. And let's see what else we got here. Oh, shit. Volume motherfucking 3. Got you Volume 3 as well in case somebody else got you Volume 2. Hope you had fun reading both of them. Somebody else got me Volume 1, but thank you so much, D. I'm just gonna call you that. Thank you, dude. Let's put the family together. Look at this beautiful collection. Look at this. Oh, isn't it great? I love it so much. Thanks, dude. Am I the biggest Galco YouTuber? I guess I am. I will happily take that crown. And on to our last box. Okay, what have we got here? Oh! Yomiko Sensei! Can you see it? This is Yoko in her teacher form from the second half of Gurren Lagann. This is literally Yoko at her sexiest. I gotta get this open right now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Look at her. Can you see this shit? She's fucking huge. This is like among my bigger figures. This is like the 1/8 size. Dude, I love it. Thank you so much. Somebody want to send me a Nia figure? You know, I love Yoko so much. God damn, look how high that slit goes on the dress. That subtle sexuality. Hashtag subtle sexuality. That's my thing now. It's not that subtle with this girl though. God damn. Okay, but this is Yoko with the glasses, so obviously this is my favorite one. It's perfect. She's perfect. You know what I also love? I also love her look when she first comes back to the Daigurenon. Like that scene where she shows up to save Viral and Simone from when they were in jail. Like her black biker jacket that she was wearing then. She looks great then too. But this, oh my god, that ass. Mwah! I love her. Whoever that was, thank you so much. I love it. Guys, you're so generous with me. I'm totally thankful. This is great. I appreciate it deeply. You're sending me so much fun shit here, like Mr. Castle here in the Magic Banner, as well as just great stuff like an expansion to my Galco Volumes collection and the fucking Yoko figure. You guys are the best. Thank you. Oh, and who could forget? My lovely core drill. What am I doing? I gotta put this on. How do I look, everybody? Should I wear this every day for the rest of my life? I think I will. You know, Hillary's got another one coming to her. All right, let's finish this up. Let's get to our next section. Q&A time. Transition Q&A time. Hey, here we go. Nanchetta Chip asks, thoughts on the G8 filler arc of the One Piece anime? I consider to be pretty much the only good filler ever. That's actually not true. There's plenty of other good filler out there in the world. But everyone's been watching that video that dude made about how that filler is really, really great. When I was a kid, I watched that and thought that it was really boring and uninteresting. So like, I totally do not connect with like that guy's opinion. Like that guy's picking out like the best parts of it, but I distinctly remember some really boring scenes of like Sanji cooking and Luffy like being a little douche in the background, you know, just like eating all the food. You know, like he was right in his depiction of like the side characters were the real stars of the show that the Straw Hats could like bounce themselves off of. So, you know, like honestly, I can't remember enough to comment, but I remember it being like not that great. But admittedly, that was like 10 years ago, so maybe it's better than I remember. At Kuro asks, do you intend to dive deep into Radiata stories anytime in the near future and explain why people should play it? I don't have any intention of doing that, you know, in the near future, but maybe for a WIAGW, that could be something. I mean, honestly, I haven't played it in a really long time, so like all the specifics, I don't really remember. I just have a very positive remembrance of it in general, and remember having a lot of fun recruiting like all these individual little characters, and man, you can go like hard. If you want to get like the guild leaders, I believe there were a total of like 4 guilds. And if you wanted, for example, like the leader of the Warriors Guild, you had to recruit like every single warrior in the guild before like you were on the level where you could try to get them to join your party through like a fight that was incredibly difficult. I didn't get anywhere near that level, so maybe I should revisit it and try some of that shit. We'll see. I'd love to make a video about it sometime, so maybe one day soon. At Finch0 asks, although entertaining after editing, do you feel like ridiculous when you do things like your transition cuts? What do you mean? Transition, yeah, transition, yeah. I kind of like think in terms of editing now because I've been doing it for so long. I don't even think about like just the me right here. I think about the edit where I'm going to be floating through space. Or some other bullshit's gonna be hitting me in the face right now. Ow, ow. And when I do like my act, I'm like, hey, look over here at this thing. Like, I've got a real 3-dimensional feel, or rather a 2-dimensional feel for what this is gonna be like in the end. So, I feel a little silly. Mostly I just gotta keep it down for the fucking neighbors. But other than that, not really. At Zionel? Have you played Monster Girl Quest? And if you have, who is the best girl? I did play Monster Girl Quest briefly. I only got up to the first Slime Girl until I finished up what I was doing with that game, and I never went back. I'd like to play it more sometime, maybe in the future, but that's all I know right now. I guess Slime Girl's best girl. And at RedLuigi235 asks, how do you converse with lesser beings like the rest of the PCP? Well, funny you should mention that. I'm wearing my Procrastinators shirt right now. TPC The Procrastinators, my podcast channel. We do The Procrastinators podcast. Everybody should go watch it. Go subscribe to that channel. In addition to this one, of course. Like that motherfucking video, motherfuckers. Referring, of course, to the video you're watching right now. You should watch the stuff on my second channel, Bestie Boy, if you want a couple of the videos that didn't deserve to be on this channel. Pledge to my Patreon Patreon, please, because I just had a bunch of people lower their pledges. So I'm trying to go full-time, people. I would really appreciate if you could help support me, if you like what I'm doing here. I give you content for free, everybody out there, so if everybody could give me just a little bit, just enough so I can do this without having to work like 60 hours on my day job, that'd be really great. So, you know, let's get there together. Wink. And of course, don't forget to send me more hashtag AskBGE questions throughout the week so I can answer them and shout you out on this segment here. And that's gonna do it, everybody. That's WIAGW for this week. Let's not make this a big, long, drawn-out goodbye. Let's just say, fuck you.